And President Biden is in Madrid for the NATO Leaders Summit, where he announced the extension of some U.S. troop deployments in Europe and some new military aid to key NATO allies. Biden also said the U.S. will establish a permanent military headquarters in Poland. I want to bring in foreign correspondent Tom Burridge in Ukraine and White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks, who's traveling with the president, for more on this. Tom, I want to start with you and President Biden announcing the stronger military presence in Europe. What impact could that have on the war in Ukraine?
Diane, I think this is less about the impact it could have on the war in Ukraine and more about deterring Russia from taking action against other sovereign European nations. So it's an incredible increase in the U.S. troop presence and military presence across Europe, particularly on the eastern flank. So we're talking about more F-15 squadrons in the UK, more troops in Italy. But crucially, the U.S. is saying this will be the first time it will have a permanent military base on the eastern flank in Poland, and more troops in the Baltic states too. And President Zelensky's pitch to that NATO summit today was that countries like Lithuania, one of the Baltic states, are in President Putin's crosshairs at the moment. He said that this war in Ukraine is about much, much more than the sovereignty of this nation. And for the first time, or one of the first times, he's actually put a figure on the amount of financial and military support he wants for this country to defeat Russia. He says the country needs $5 billion every month, a huge amount of money.
Now, Mary Alice, Turkey has agreed to pave the way for Finland and Sweden to join NATO. So what's the significance of having those two countries join the alliance, and what does that mean for their security overall?
Yeah, Dan, this is a big deal. It seems like NATO is set to grow. Will be 32 countries instead of 30 countries in their near future. Turkey had been the one lone holdout these last few months. As soon as Finland and Sweden said that they were interested in joining the alliance, the United States put their full sort of support and encouragement behind this. We saw those two leaders at the White House with the president saying he thought this was a great idea, sort of celebrating it. But Turkey had been a holdout, skeptical, wanting one-on-one talks with those two countries. But it seems that they've come to an agreement and that they're going to move forward. There's at least an understanding that this is going to happen. And what, of course, it means for those two countries is that if this does happen, when this does happen now, they will have the protection of NATO. You know, that Article 5, those protections that mean that an attack against one is an attack against all, and that NATO, the entire alliance, would have to come to their defense should, for example, Russia cross those borders. Now, it's hard to imagine something like that happening, but it does show just how NATO has become so much more popular, and these countries wanted that kind of collective defense.
And Tom, in his address to the UN Security Council, Ukrainian President Zelensky shared this video showing the moment that missile hit a shopping mall in central Ukraine. I mean, the blast is huge. What's the latest on that attack?
Yeah, it's absolutely shocking. So the latest death toll, Diane, is still 18 people, but people are still missing. They're still recovering bodies in that rescue operation because that site was completely obliterated. And what's interesting is that from the moment that attack happened, in the mid-afternoon in that city in the center of Ukraine, Russia started to question the Ukrainian account. But in typical fashion, the Kremlin has changed its theories. It first tried to blame the attack on Ukraine. Then it said that actually it was hitting an ammunition dump nearby, and somehow that caused an explosion onto the shopping mall. And now we're seeing that CCTV footage. You know, if you look at the CCTV footage and compare that to satellite imagery, it's genuine. It shows the missile come in. We've spoken, ABC News, to people at the scene, to people who were hit. You know, this looks, and all the evidence points to, once again, another very, very barbaric attack by Russia on a civilian target.
All right, Tom Burridge in Kyiv, Ukraine, Mary Alice Parks in Madrid, traveling with the president. Thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.